listener, reader, traveler. I have day 3 of our little session, our little one-shot. So, if you haven't seen day 1 and 2, it might make a little more sense if you watch those first, but you're welcome to jump right in. Let's get started with the morning. It arrives the way it did yesterday. In fact, identically to the way it did yesterday. The bell rings once, not loud, not close. Somewhere in the town market, maybe, marking the hour. Light filters through the same curtains in a pale wash like yesterday. For a moment you lie still, staring, listening to the footsteps below, the crockery, the soft murmur of voices beginning their day. You dress and head downstairs. The tavern smells of breakfast, warm and steady. The barkeep looks up as you enter, already moving to set a bowl on the counter.
"Morning," he says. "Sleep well?"
He doesn't wait for your answer before turning back to the stove. You take your seat. The bowl placed in front of you is the same as before. Porridge, honey, dried berries. The mug, already steaming, sits just to the right of your hand. You thank him, and he nods, distracted but not unfriendly. You try something small. You mention yesterday the market, the child that bumped into you that's been flickering through your thoughts this morning. The barkeep listens politely, hands busy.
Kids run," he says. "Always have, always will. Don't know who you're talking about, though."
You ask if a lot of the travelers who come through here stay more than a night, and he pauses long enough to stir the pot.
"Some do," he says. "Depends."
You ask, depends on what? And he glances at you, smiling.
"Preference?"
The conversation slides away from you as easily as water off a stone. It doesn't feel evasive or secretive, it just trickles away. When you step outside, Lowen's Crossing is already in motion. The market is open, same stalls, same canvas awnings, the same man adjusting a crate of apples, the same woman laying out bundles of herbs, each tied with its familiar colored twine. You slow your pace this time, and you stop at the herb stall. The woman looks up, smiles, bright and practiced.
"Good morning," she says. "What can I do for you?"
You ask her how long she's been selling here.
She says, "Ooh, long while."
You ask if the market ever changes, new vendors, new faces. She pauses, fingers stilling on a bundle of dried leaves.
"Why would it?" she asks, genuinely curious.
You say you're used to towns shifting with the seasons, people coming and going, different markets and caravans that pass through. Her smile tightens just slightly.
"We like things steady," she says. "It's better for everyone."
You ask her if she remembers you from yesterday. She blinks.
"Well," she says, "you're a traveler."
It's not quite an answer. You press a little. gently. Mention something specific she said yesterday. A phrase she called out, a joke she made. Her brows knit just faintly.
Oh, I say a lot of things, she says,
then softer, almost apologetic.
Don't I?
There is a moment where neither of you speak. Around you, the market hums, coins clink, someone laughs, a cartwheel creaks, then settles. She reties the herb bundle, fingers moving with precise familiarity.
If you're looking for anything in particular, she says,
eyes not quite meeting yours,
you should ask at the shop near the hedges. I don't want to be really involved in any of the business, but...
You thank her as she trails off into uncomfortable silence. As you step away, you feel not fear, not yet. You feel the strange sense that you have stepped slightly out of rhythm. People have noticed. You don't go straight to the shop. Instead, you wander, not aimlessly, but deliberately slowly, letting the town move around you while you stay still. You lean against a low stone wall near the market and watch. A man passes carrying a crate. He nods to you as he goes by. A woman follows moments later, sweeping dust from the front of a stall. Somewhere nearby, a bell rings, sharp and brief. Time passes. Then the same man with a similar crate returns. Same direction, same pace. He nods again, exactly the same way. You straighten. This time you step onto his path. You say, "Excuse me." He stops easily, smiling as though he'd expected the interruption.
Yes?
You ask where he's taking the crate.
Oh, to the storehouse,
he says. You glance back the way you came. You tilt your head and wonder why he's already returning. He tilts his head, considering the question like it's a puzzle he hasn't had to solve before.
Well, he says, work gets done.
That's it. You thank him, a little bit confused, and question not fully answered, but he continues on his way, crate balanced comfortably on his shoulder. The magic detector in your pocket rests quietly at your side, warm, unreactive. You move through the market, asking questions that to you seem reasonable but careful. I'll have you roll me an investigation check. Pretty average. You ask, how long has the bridge been there?
Oh, as long as anyone remembers.
Do festivals ever come through?
Oh, we don't need 'em.
When was the last one? A pause, a smile.
Before your time.
The same phrase again, always the same, soft as a blanket laid over something sharp. You stop at a stall selling cheese and bread. The vendor greets you warmly, asks if you'd like the usual. You tell them that you don't have the usual. They laugh lightly as if you've made a joke.
Oh, must be someone else.
You ask him about the dog you saw last night, the one that was in the tavern.
Oh, him, the vendor says fondly. Oh, he belongs to that fine lady there with the shawl.
You feel this discomfort, a sense that every answer is shaped to close the door without ever showing you the hinge. As you make your way towards the hedges, the shopkeep is watching the door as you approach. They don't look surprised to see you.
Find what you're looking for?
He asks. You say you're still trying to understand the town. He nods slowly.
People come here for that, he says, understanding.
Then, after a moment,
most decide they don't need it.
You ask if anyone's ever asked too many questions. The shopkeeper's gaze sharpens, then just a fraction.
Questions have weight, he says. You carry 'em long enough, they start to bend things.
You leave with that sitting heavy in your chest. The afternoon drifts by. You sit near the well for a while, watching people pass. Nobody meets your eye for long. The flowers are still fresh, the water's still. And as last time, as you get closer to the well, you feel the detector buzz to life in your pocket. You can't find any reason for the magic that you're sensing. As evening approaches, you feel tired in a way that doesn't match the day.
Not exhausted, just worn.
Inside, the air is warm, familiar. The same patrons occupy the same seats as last night. Then the door opens. A dog trots in, the woman following it close. Without hesitation, it crosses the room, sitting itself at its customary seat, and the woman crosses over to a seat at the tavern and feeds the dog a small piece of cheese. The dog takes it gently. The tavern settles into evening, a rhythm that you've already heard before, the same laughter, the same scrape of chairs, the same low murmur. The fire crackles in the same way, and you sit with your drink in front of you, which tastes the same as last night. The barkeep wipes the counter.
You're settling in,
he says. It's not a question. You ask how long he's worked here. He pauses, the cloth still in his hand.
A good while,
he says. How long is that? He smiles, apologetic.
Long enough.
You try a different angle. Ask if business has been steady.
Oh, yes, he says easily. People come through, people stay, people leave.
You ask who leaves. The cloth resumes its slow circle.
Well,
the barkeep says,
that depends.
On what? Another pause, this one longer.
On whether they're done.
The words land heavier than they should. You glance around the room. The same man laughs at the same joke from last night. The same woman nurses the same drink, fingers resting on the rim of the glass in the same thoughtful way. You stand. Your chair scrapes against the floor. Louder than expected, A few heads turn. No one looks concerned. An idea sparks in your mind. You step closer to the bar. Your elbow brushes a tankard sitting near the edge. It tips, falls, shatters. The sound cracks through the tavern like a gunshot. Conversation stops. Every head turns. For a breathless moment, no one moves. Then the barkeep steps forward, calm. "Well now," he says, "that won't do." He kneels, gathering shards with his hands. You apologize, and he looks at you, smiling kindly. He moves slowly, methodically, gathering larger shards, then sweeping the smaller pieces into their palm. A rag peers from behind the bar, pressed down to catch the last glittering fragments. "Careful where you step," he says, mild as ever. You apologize again, and he shakes his head. Happens. The broken tankard is nudged aside beneath the bar. The damp ring it left on the table remains. The barkeep stands, smooths his apron, and returns to pouring drinks. Conversation resumes. The fire pops. The woman sits at a nearby table, a dog curled neatly at her feet. You recognize her. She was here last night in the same seat, same posture, with the same dog. She came over to you and spoke to you on your first night. She smiles when she sees you looking at her. "Evening," she says. You ask if the seat across from her is taken. "Oh, go on," she replies. The dog sniffs your hand briefly before settling again. The woman scratches behind its ears absent-mindedly. You mention how the town feels well kept. She nods. "People take pride in it." You ask how long she's lived here. She pauses, then answers, "My whole life." "Did she grow up here?" "Yes." "Did she ever leave?" She considers the question carefully. "Not really," she says. You ask about travelers. "They pass through," she says. Some stay a night, some longer." "Anyone stay permanently?" She smiles. "Everyone stays as long as they need to." You ask about the wizard. Her hand stills on the dog's fur. "The wizard?" she repeats. You say you heard there used to be one, that someone helped the town once. "Oh," she says softly. "Yes, there was." "What did he help with?" She looks down at her cup. Keeping things manageable." "Manageable how?" She exhales through her nose, a small sound. "People were getting tired," she says. "Confused, forgetful." "From what?" "Life," she says, and gives a little shrug. You ask what happened to him. "Oh, he passed," she says. "It was a long time ago." "How long ago?" Her fingers resume their slow rhythm against the dog's fur. "Long enough that people don't like to bring it up." "Why not?" She meets your eyes then, really looks at you. "Because he did his best," she says. The dog shifts closer to her leg. "Things stayed steady after that," she says. You ask if the town uses magic. "Not much," she replies. "Just what's necessary." "Necessary for what?" She smiles again, and this time it's practiced. For living. A laugh rises from the bar. Someone calls for another round. The woman stands, brushing dog hair from her skirt. You should get some rest, she says. First days can be tiring. You thank her for her conversation. She nods. Of course. As you walk away, the dog looks back at you and whines softly. You finish your drink and head up towards the stairs. The barmaid's voice carries up the stairwell, light and practiced. Mind the third step, dear. It sticks. The third stair does not creak. Your room greets you in the same way as it did before. Inside, the air is faintly scented with lavender and old wood. You unlatch your window. The night air slips in, cool against your skin. Lowen's Crossing lies quiet beneath the moon. No footsteps, no voices, just the soft suggestion of a town at rest. Somewhere outside, you hear the sound of water moving. You wash your hands and the face in the basin with cool water from a pitcher nearby. Dry them on the towel hanging beside it, folded just so. You undress, fold your clothes, set them neatly on the chair, and then, for a moment, you just stand there, looking at the bed. You think of the day, the market, the woman with the dog, the way people answered without quite answering, the sound of the tankard breaking. You sit on the edge of your mattress and it dips under your weight. The magic detector sits softly where you set it, steady and unbothered. Not a warning, not reassurance, just presence. You lie back. The ceiling above you is plain. A faint crack runs from one corner to the other. You don't remember noticing it before, but it feels familiar. Your thoughts slow. You tell yourself that towns have routines. People repeat stories, that travelers notice patterns because they have nothing else to anchor them in the town. Nothing bad happened today. You close your eyes. As sleep begins to take hold, a quiet thought slips through uninvited. Tomorrow you'll see if the tankard is broken and if anyone remembers it. The thought lingers, then fades, and the night passes. That's our story for day 3. It's a little bit more mysterious, maybe. Something's going on a little bit in this town, but, well, we'll get into that a little bit later. I hope you enjoyed the story for today, that it helped you maybe just feel a little bit more relaxed. Want to see more of my content, I always appreciate a subscribe, but otherwise I will see you later, and have a good day, night, or rest of your afternoon.